Hello and welcome to another episode of 5 on TK Sports YouTube channel and audio. Thank you guys for always following and watching the show. We really appreciate the support, and we'd also appreciate if you subscribe down below. Keep on subscribing. We want to add a lot more subscribers, get to even 5 billion subscribers. Let's be the first channel to do that. I'm only joking. So we just want to go through the questions very quickly so that we do not waste a lot of time. This is just supposed to take about 10 to 15 minutes of your day. The first question. So this question is, in a romantic way, it's a brilliant question. Liverpool doesn't do that well after winning the title. Klopp leaves at the end of the season. Steven Gerrard has just won the Scottish Premiership with Rangers in good fashion. Then he comes in and he replaces Jurgen Klopp. Then he goes on to win the Premier League title. In Fantasyland, this is a great move. This is a great move in Fantasyland. Would love that for Steven Gerrard and Liverpool. But let's be realistic. Come on. You know, if I'm one of Jurgen Klopp's advisors, I'm telling him to stay on for at least another season, because if he leaves after this, after you win a title, then you have a bad year, then you automatically leave. It seems as if there's a bit of cowardice. You just want to be at Liverpool when things are going your way. Then when Liverpool starts hitting a few bumps after winning the title, then you quit. It doesn't look well on Jurgen Klopp's resume. If they don't sack him, then he decides to leave Liverpool. It doesn't look good. However, if Liverpool sack him, then he doesn't really have a choice. But then that would also be very foolish from Liverpool's point of view. And Liverpool's ownership group is one where we understand that they're a lot more patient with their managers than most of the bigger clubs. So Jurgen Klopp should not leave Liverpool. They should not part ways, at least for another season. Especially just giving him the benefit of the doubt as the guy who brought the Premier League title to Liverpool for the first time, Liverpool's first title in 30 years. That's something massive. At least, you know, that should be some bargaining power, or that should be his get out of jail free card for this particular season that they're having. Leicester City this time around, at the point of recording, they're still in the top 4. There's still about, let me look at it, some 9 games left. 9 games, is it 9 or 8? 9 games left. And yeah, I'm picking them for the top 4. I think they're good enough this season. They won't lose form like they did the previous season. You know, looking at last season when they didn't make the top 4, of course, they really, it was because of Manchester United's terrific form after signing Bruno Fernandes. There was also Chelsea who linked there, but also some of it had to do with Leicester's own performance, where they didn't help themselves. But what I've seen from this Leicester City group, they take their failures as lessons. I think they've learned quite a lot from what happened last season, and they look to be set. They look set on qualifying this season, because they haven't made as many mistakes as they did the last season, and the squad as a whole is generally improved. And why are they so good? For me, there's one answer only. It's the coaching. They've got a fantastic coach who, his coaching is unbelievable. When you look at Brendan Rodgers, there's a stigma around him where, of course, I don't think he'll be able to go back and get a job as big as Liverpool, at a club as big as Liverpool or at Chelsea or Manchester United. I think it's generally because of a stigma or a perception that's on guys like Brendan Rodgers, young British coaches. They don't seem to be the it thing. You know, the bigger clubs want that foreign attractive manager, yeah, where of course he comes in and he talks about philosophy, he comes in and he talks about style of play. That's what people want for their teams at the moment, that foreign manager thing. It's got a bit of something, and Brendan Rodgers doesn't have that. He's from Northern Ireland, so he can't be treated as a foreigner in the UK. But Leicester City are so good because of coaching. They've got a great coach, someone who really improves young players, and he's also actually improving some of the older lads. John Evans has been performing quite well. Guy like Jamie Vardy looks reborn, especially after the spell they had under Claude Puel a few seasons ago. A need. Yes, of course there's a need. Chelsea need to buy some new players. They can't stay stagnant just because they've hit a pebble patch of form the last couple of weeks when Thomas Tuchel has come in. Doesn't mean they don't really have to buy new players. There's still some certain aspects and weaknesses in their squad. As I look at centre forward is still a problem for Chelsea. Timo Werner was supposed to come in and improve those problems. That hasn't happened. There have been rumors of a guy like Erling Braut Haaland. If they get him, then I think it's game over for a lot of teams. He's gonna come in and drastically improve them in that area. The kid is very talented, but let me look at some of the positions where the media haven't really pointed out at Chelsea. For me, Chelsea has a problem at the centre-back position. They need to go and recruit a guy who should come and play, especially if Thomas Tuchel is still using that 3-4-3. The left side of the three centre-backs, where Rudiger is playing, I see that as an area of weakness. I do not trust Antonio Rudiger. He's not that particularly good. When I look at him, a lot of mistakes that can come from that guy. Is a bit rash and reckless. So centre-back should be a position that Chelsea are looking at. And there have been rumors of Gianluigi Donnarumma to Chelsea. If that's an option, I can't really say that's a need. Edouard Mendy is quite adequate, competent, but if he is available, I think that's a move that you have to look at. You have to try to make it happen for Chelsea. So Chelsea should not stay stagnant. They definitely have a few areas to improve. They have to buy new players. There is a need to improve their squad. Zimbabwean Premier League, I'm glad to tell you that it's been given the green light. It's coming back, but they haven't given people a date for when it starts just because of some financial restrictions. What I heard in my conversation last week when I was speaking with the ZIFA president was that it's basically the COVID testing is the problem, because they really want to make sure that every player is safe. Then players are tested as regularly as possible so that they can be able to maintain these so-called biosecure bubbles. So the problem was, they get tested at training, they get tested before games, they get tested after the games, something like that. That's a regular occurrence for how many teams are in the Zimbabwean Premier League. There's 18 teams, then a squad consists of about 25 players. So 25 players getting tested basically maybe 3 times a week. And how much is that test going for? Around $50 bucks, $50 times 25 times 3. That's a lot of money for FIFA standards, and they haven't really been given any money from FIFA for the COVID relief payments. So basically at the moment, that is what is stalling the Zimbabwean game. The COVID testing and the regulations that are in place for it to be a biosecure bubble, for it to be safe for players. Player safety comes first. Even though we are hungry for some entertainment in Zimbabwe, that is what is holding our league back. When Rooney was a magnificent player, I have to say that, brilliant on his day, very consistent for a number of years before, of course, the sudden decline. But if I'm to pick a period at which Rooney was at his best, what is Rooney's peak? A lot of people don't really know this, but Rooney was at his best when he was still very, very young, when he was still comparable to the Cristiano Ronaldos and Messi's. So if I'm to pick maybe a period of around 3 years for Wayne Rooney, I'd say he was at his best from around 2003 to 2006 or 2007. That's when Rooney was at his best. when Rooney was considered amongst the best players in the world. You'd look at him, then you'd think, yeah, maybe he can win a Ballon d'Or one day. That's when he was at his best. Then afterwards, it was a steady but good decline, I guess, because he was still very good, but he'd already enjoyed his peak when he was around 18, 19, 20. That's when Rooney was at his best. Afterwards, it was already a decline, quick decline. I don't know why, but that was it for Wayne Rooney. If I'm to say which period was his peak. So those were 5 questions for this episode of 5. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. Remember to turn on the notifications to get more great content from this channel. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching TK Sports. For more awesome content from this channel, please subscribe. And also engage with us on our social media platforms down in the description below.